Hi guys, welcome back to Message from Mull. Back indoors today. Not really through choice, but it is pretty horrible outside today. But because I wanted to talk to you about an issue that's certainly been having an effect upon myself over the last year, and that is quite significant use of screens. Whether that be the laptop in my case, or PC, phones, tablets, or even Kindle perhaps. And I think it's without doubt, technology has been our savior to a degree in terms of enabling us to stay connected with loved ones, with friends, with family through lockdown. But it also comes with a few less than ideal side effects. And obviously, we spend a lot more time sitting on our backside these days. A lot of us have to work like this on a regular basis. The time that we at Healthy Options spend in front of a PC now is a little bit unusual to us. So you've probably heard us mentioning over the last year at various points the fact that we're suffering with physiological issues, whether that be tight hip flexors, lower back pain, sometimes neck pain, shoulder pain, just because even though we know what we're doing, there's a tendency to fall into the trap of a very poor posture when you're using these sort of devices. And I've had to try and make a few little amendments myself to help me along the way. So, a lot of us don't have the choice. We're forced to use PCs on a regular basis at work, and the way we work in general has changed dramatically over the last sort of 20, 30 years. So everything now is done by computers. So it's going to be like that for a while, and we probably need to make the best of a less than ideal situation. Now, as I said, it's not only the fact that we tend to be getting heavier because we're moving around less at work, or poor posture because of this sort of position where we're sitting looking at a screen or here on a phone. But a condition which is known as computer vision syndrome seems to be sweeping the world really at the minute. And it's something that I tend to find, especially on days where I've been spending a particularly long period of time, maybe typing up notes on the laptop, and I really suffer at the end of the day because of it. It's something I've never really experienced before the pandemic came along. And it's something that affects our children as well. If they're in positions where their posture is poor, or where the lighting is perhaps again less than ideal. So computer vision syndrome, what is that? Now, you've probably heard of carpal tunnel syndrome or repetitive strain injuries. Some people who carry out specific movements at work that are repeated time and time again can sometimes have issues with perhaps tendonitis, and it's a similar issue with the eyes, because if we are looking here and then to here and we keep carrying out that movement where we're looking at what we're typing and then up here, or we're typing up notes and we have the notes beside us perhaps, for a long time I would have my notes down here. So that constant lift and drop of the head, refocusing, it works the muscles that control the lenses in the eye a lot harder. And you're also obviously moving your eyes back and forth as you read. So if you're a very good typer, then you can obviously hold the head up a little higher and then off you go. I can't do that, and many of us tend to be sort of down and up again, and it's that constant refocus that is the problem. The other issue we have is that when we're using screens, we tend to blink less, and when we blink, we moisten the eyelids, so our eyes can become dry and irritable and maybe red by the end of the day if we're using the PC a lot. So a few things there to consider, and also the actual screens themselves, we get flicker off the screen and we get glare off the screen as well. Not much glare going on today with the weather conditions outside. And also as we get older, especially over the age of 40, and that's certainly me, the flexibility of the lens in our eye becomes less, and we're more prone to developing issues around computer vision syndrome, CVS. And the symptoms, as I said, can be sort of dry, red, sore eyes, but sometimes blurred vision as well, sometimes double vision, and in more extreme cases, headaches. Sometimes this can bring on migraines for a lot of folks, and the common neck and back pain. So what can we do? Well, first of all, if we do get a lot of glare, we could try and cut down on glare either by moving physically from, say, a bright window. I'm quite lucky here because the sun comes up sort of on the other side of the house, so I tend not to be affected at this end too badly. But that can be a real problem. Or obviously get some blinds for the area, some way of shading out that light so it's not reflecting off the screen, or dim the lighting. Ironically, I've got every light on in the kitchen today because, as you can see, the light levels are pretty poor for filming. Or sometimes you can get a glare filter as well for your laptop if that's a problem. But also, in terms of your posture, think about perhaps rearranging your desk. You may notice I have a little box here just to hold the laptop up at an angle. Hope it's going to stay there now I've done that. And that's allowed to elevate the screen a little bit higher. This is still not ideal. I'm going to look into a little holder that will lift it a little bit higher, because ideally what you want is your eye level round about the top of the screen, or just below and no more. So this is the best sort of I can do at the minute, but it's a lot better than being down here, because then my natural reaction will be over time to sort of arc over, and that's going to really affect my posture. So by coming up here, I can sit up a little bit more in the chair and stay a little bit more upright. In terms of how far the screen should be away, well, we're looking about arm's length from where you are, say about 20 to 28 inches. But just make sure that you're not having to squint to see the writing on the screen, whatever you're looking at. And also, it may be an idea to employ what's known as the 20-20-20 rule. And this means that every 20 minutes, you look away from the screen for at least 20 seconds, and you try to focus on something that's at least 20 feet away, just to rest the eyes, so that they're not always here, short focus, and having to constantly change from here to here to here to here. That's what brings that almost repetitive strain issue in. And also, if you're typing up your notes, instead of having them down here, I'll use a little jar there, have them something like that. So roughly about the same distance away as your screen, and again the eyes are not having to refocus a lot over and over again. So there we go, give that a little try, especially if you're someone that uses screens an awful lot. And I would suggest as well that periodically, at least once an hour, you try to get up, get to a window and get some natural light in. Also maybe have a little wander outside if you can, just get some fresh air and get away from being sucked into this trap of spending hour upon hour upon hour in a less than ideal position physiologically, and also this can have a severe impact upon your eyes. Okay, now we're back to a long message from Mull. I'll get some stick for that one, over 9 minutes, and I'll be back next week, and I hope you have a great week, guys. Take care. Bye bye.